We are right on time to ask a very important question with our next presentation, and that is, how real is blockchain adoption for enterprises? Here to address this question, we have Jacek Figula representing Billion Group. Jacek is Chief Commercial Officer of Billion, a company that reinvented the distributed ledger technology to manage money, tokens, data, and identity. But before that, 20 years of experience in sales leadership and team leadership in global corporations, Cisco, UPC, Nortel, DEC, and Siemens. Enjoy. The floor is yours.
Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much. Usually I put a little bit more of energy into the performance, but the situation on the East, the political situation is quite devastating. So I will stay rather calm then. So good afternoon, everyone. I would like to bring to your attention the undertaking that that we do at Billion. Just before that, about myself, as I was introduced, 20 plus years of experience in the enterprise world. And in 2015, I learned about the blockchain, and also I of course learned about Bitcoin. Started to play with these cryptocurrencies a little bit. Very fascinating years, I must say, over 2015, 2020. Now, because of my experience and because of what Billion does, we moved into an enterprise applications of blockchain. And as I spent 7 years at Cisco, and Cisco is a company that basically created the internet, we think that there is a new wave of internet that is going to be built in the next years to come, which is a blockchain-based internet. Some people call it an internet of value, internet of trust and value. So this is the future, and of course cryptocurrency, and this word that excites you the most, is today the largest application. NFTs as well, but as we see more and more adoption in the mainstream of the economies of blockchain technologies and attributes of blockchain technologies, this is becoming equally fascinating. So I will be talking briefly about us, about the 3 types of projects that we do. So let's get it started. So blockchain, what does this do? In my view, the biggest benefit that this does to the exchange of digital value between people is that it actually goes away from the account-based model in the money sphere into a token-based model, and tokens which I own and I have a full control of over that data or document that are shared among different parties. They are not shared as a client-server type of methodology, but rather as a shared pool of truth that is allowing us to share this document and structured data among us. So we eliminate data islands and we move into the shared pool of truth, which is actually one of the biggest advantage of these systems, in my opinion. And the last but not least, it actually commingled so many different assets, and as we heard before, make the illiquid assets very much liquid, non-fungible tokens or anything related to any metals or real estates, etc. So these are the top benefits in my view that make blockchain an exciting technology, and not only in cryptocurrency but also beyond that, as a technology to step in next wave of internet. Now, what Billion has done in 2015, when I invested in the company has been raised in the United Kingdom. And we have analyzed, even before that, a kind of R&D work, but we have analyzed the number of different protocols available. And we have decided that we will go a kind of regulatory compliant way. which is to actually follow certain regulations. EU is full of regulations, and this is why we decided to actually follow the European Union regulations. And we created our own layer 1 protocol that is able to publish assets into this protocol of different types. Okay, and it turned out to be a quite a good idea, because until today we seem to be one of the very few, if not the only one, protocol that is actually taking the regulatory compliance so seriously. Now, based on this protocol, we have built 3 different, let's call it, product lines. One product line which is related to money transfers, either the fiat money or corporate money, and we have number of projects live in Poland and in the UK. We have a license from the Polish regulator KNF, and also the license from the British regulator FCA. And we build products around payments, mass payment, cash collections, also the distributed payments, remittance, cross-country remittance. So that is all which is based on a shared pool of the truth, which is containing the different types of tokens inside. Then also we have a product line which is allowing us to share between individuals and companies, or between 3 different companies, data and documents, which we call trusted document management. And here as well we have certain live projects ongoing as a service, some projects in partnerships with some other companies, and notably to mention Credit Scoring Bureau in Poland, which is organizing this process for the entire financial market in Poland, as well as our own implementation with the companies that I will talk in a second about. Last but not least, which is probably the most exciting, is the tokenization and data sharing platform, which is allowing us to actually join these 2 worlds together. So the fiat currency, the document and data, merge it into together, also with some additional type of tokens, which allow us to actually have a unified platform for my digital wealth. Okay, so anything I care about, like a contract that I've signed in PDF and with a digital signature, I can store on the platform, and I can be reassured that this will stay for years to come. I don't need to take care of any compliance myself, but no, the platform will deliver it for me. So what do we do in the area of accounts and transactions? One of the pilot that we are running with Raiffeisen Bank International is the pilot around fund shares tokenization, where basically there are couple of different assets. There is a bank that is providing the digital euro into the system. There is the capital manager that is providing the fund shares tokenized into the system. And there is a user which has been KYC'd and invited to participate. And the user can exchange the digital euro against the fund shares token. So you can, if you're an investor and you invest in shares, on the stock exchange, you recognize that this has certain delay, cut-off times, etc. Here, the world works 24 hours a day with no cut-off time immediately, and the cost of these transactions are marginal. So this is a pilot because there are a couple of hiccups that we have in the project, especially the regulatory hiccup. You probably heard about the MiCA regulation, which is actually coming into Europe very shortly. It has been discussed on the panel discussion earlier today. MiCA is the markets in crypto assets regulation, probably end of 2022 or early 2023. It will open Europe to any tokenized value. So far, this is reasonably closed from the regulatory perspective, but it will change this situation as we see the regulation coming into the force. The second type of project that we do is the project with the largest banking vendor worldwide, FIS, the American-based company. They build core banking systems. And these core banking systems, of course, they must communicate within the given bank, and they also must communicate interbanks and intercountry. So of course you can imagine that today, as they communicate in traditional mode, I mean, there are interfaces, there are clearing houses, there are all different stakeholders, intermediaries that are taking part in all of this communication. So what FIS has built, they are building something which they call a modern banking platform. And this modern banking platform is actually interconnected through the blockchain protocol. So you have Bank A, you have Bank B, Bank C, Bank D, and all of these banks are actually sharing the same ledger among each other. Okay, so if Bank A issues a transaction with Bank B, then this transaction happens on the same shared ledger, and then Bank C and Bank D observes this transaction and is like a kind of guard or policeman or watchdog that is actually making this transaction very secure. This is a cybersecurity. Sorry, this is cybersecurity challenge that we have broken in here, as well as the simplicity of the architecture. So instead of building this kind of mesh of connections, we have built a very beautiful, like, cryptographically protected database. For the document exchange, we are doing a couple of things in the certificates and diplomas, where we have looked at what universities and companies that issued certificates and diplomas may require. We have looked at certain regulations within the GDPR space, with the eIDAS space, with also the durable medium space. So all of this regulation has been put into this product. And as I said earlier, Credit Scoring Bureau is offering this product to the Polish banking system and beyond the Polish banking system, actually, to insurance, to any other interested company. And this is a beauty of the system, that is, reasonable, simple to connect to, and then you have the very basic but secure and legally binding and also regulatory compliant solution that is allowing you to send document, store the document in this platform, sign this document with your either whatever signature you would have, digital signature you would have, and of course you can share this with some other party and you can verify whether this is a genuine document. Okay. So quite recently, so end of last calendar year, we have signed an agreement with the largest Polish energy provider in the south of Poland, and we have started the implementation of such a solution directly with Tauron. Tauron is planning to distribute all of the contractually binding documents with individual customers through blockchain. This is incredibly important to increase the security of the system that they operate. They are operating a critical infrastructure, and everybody would be kind of keen to see this critical infrastructure super protected. This is also simplifying the user experience big time. This is also making the system very user-friendly. So on the user side, all you need to do is either to integrate with the application, which is called My Tauron, or it can be a completely kind of outsourced into the cloud. Into the cloud, so you don't need to download the application on your mobile phone. So this is what we do with the largest energy company, and we hope to grow this beyond the energy sector as well, and of course beyond Poland. For the tokenized economy, here the world is actually looking the most promising, I must say, because the biggest challenges are when you have multiple stakeholders and you want to connect them all together. You remember this FIS example I just was showing, connecting multiple different banks. Multiple different banks can somehow bypass this problem by creating a clearinghouse, an interface, etc., open API, a Polish API, all of this stuff. However, the things complicates if more stakeholders want to get connected, and if the stakeholders do not really trust each other, or they don't want to actually, or they cannot even give away the data to the other party. Okay, so you might have heard of the two initiatives that actually European Commission in this context has started. One is the initiative called EPSI, European blockchain services infrastructure. This initiative is actually a European Commission initiative that is to build a European blockchain platform for multi-purpose use. Okay, so that is the platform that you could use for any exchange of value, exchange of tokens digitally between the individual in country A and the institution in country B, etc. Just to give an example, if I am in Polish and I go to Italy and I want to have my medical treatment there, it's not that obvious to check whether I have an insurance, active insurance in Poland out of Italy. It's actually very difficult. So this is why I need to have a card, I need to have a kind of confirmation with me. Systems do not integrate so easily. Even within Poland, you have so many databases, and not only, I mean, if you scale it up to Europe. Now, the second initiative that you must have heard of is the Gaia-X. It's originally a Franco-German initiative to actually coordinate the exchange of documents and exchange of identities. Gaia-X has moved into the pan-European platform where Poland has joined, also the ex-European country like the United Kingdom has joined, the Luxembourg has joined, Italy, Spain. So it's becoming a pan-European initiative, and it actually moves into the concept of what it is being called now a self-sovereign identity. So the data is actually owned by individuals rather than by the countries or by companies. Okay, so I don't really need to ask anybody to update my profile, to update my preferences, to update my consents and all of this stuff, because I own it on my own mobile device or any device with my private key being under my own control. So this is the concept of Gaia-X. We are actually contributing to two of those projects, while with EPSI, with the European Commission, we have signed a contract in order to develop over the next 18 months, in order to develop two use cases, which are fascinating use cases, each of them, but they are just an example of possibilities that blockchain brings in the enterprise world, right? So the use case one is the digital product passport, okay? So why would you do the digital product passport? I mean, every product in Europe is expected to be monitored throughout its life cycle because of the environmental and economical reasons. Okay, so that's the fact. I mean, you may have heard that Europe is voting for the new regulation, which is called an extended manufacturer's responsibility, and manufacturers and putting the product on the market will have to trace this product till the recycling. So this is the idea behind the digital product passport for circular economy. And the second use case is a use case that probably you will like more. So that's the intellectual property rights management and trading platform. Intellectual property today is quite hard to protect. Okay, in Europe it's hard to protect. In the United States it's hard to protect. It's hard also. I mean, protect it's actually fairly much easier than how hard it is to share. Okay, if you want to monetize this, because if you protect and you close it up in your safe, that's okay. I mean, you have it in your vault, nobody touches it. But if you want to monetize it and you want to share with someone, it's extremely hard. This is why we are implementing a concept, NFT-related concept, to the IP rights and put this IP rights as a platform for anybody that can actually register its IP rights, tokenize its IP rights, and then open it up for the use and, of course, monetization. So these are the two projects that we run with the European Commission. And as I said, 18-month project aiming to have them live, which will be actually in conjunction with the MiCA regulation coming in Europe, which will allow this type of tokenized economy to become real in Europe under the regulatory constraint that Europe is drafting right now. So I hope that I brought to you a little bit of experience of what we do in Bilon. I should have said at the very beginning that Bilon is a fascinating team of something like 80 people, where 50 plus are programmers and mathematicians and cryptographers. And we are not far from here. We have an office at Chmielna, but now because of the pandemic and all of the remote work, quite scattered across the entire Poland. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to actually answer questions if you have in the lobby somewhere at any convenience. Thank you so much.
Jacek Figula, Bill & Group, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Dziękuję.